Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. I'm always excited when I get a chance to come before you live and just talk to you about what's going on in the world. And not only that, but having guests on my show that are just like you, people that have dreams, goals, aspirations of being their best, and they're walking in their purpose and not letting anything being refrained from them, and they're just stepping out on faith and they're making it happen. And that's what this show is about. So I want to give a big shout out to my executive producer Jamani Anamdi out in Miami, Florida, my producer Jose Perez, and my marketing director Miss Ashley Easley, and the number one producer, my wife Tammy Henderson. So I just wanted to start off by saying I know there's so much going on in the world today. There's so many things, whether it be political, violence, people fighting cancer, and so many things that's happening. I just want to be an inspiration, a motivation, and educate people on how they can survive in this world, how they can be inspired in this world, and how they can step out and be motivated to do that thing that they've dreamed about, that they purpose in doing, and just walking in their purpose. And that brings me to tonight's guest. This is my man. I've been knowing him for years, and I've seen him grow, and I've seen him just build from nothing to something. I'll never forget, he came to my first acting workshop. And I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, but he came to my first acting workshop where I had Sharon King, Mark Harris, Craig Harris, and we had about 60 people, which was awesome. And he was a student to the game then, he's a student to the game now, but he's also a leader and teacher in the game as well. Dion Strowhorn Sr., he's the founding president and CEO of Totally Free Productions and the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival, which I've been blessed to host 2 years, and I've been honored there. And Dion has written and produced and directed several shorts titled The Vulva Chronicles, Over the Edge, Redial, Number 37, The Concert, and Overcome, which was nominated for Best Film by the African American Arts Alliance in 2011. He's a graduate of Chicago State University, where he got his bachelor's in liberal arts, and he studied at the Second City Chicago Filmmakers, and he's a member of the Screen Actors Guild. Dion is a force to be reckoned with, and he's growing and prospering in this business. And his latest film that he's going to be working on, it is called Divorce Now What. It's a series, and we're going to talk about that because I know there's a lot of people out there who's been married and now they're divorced, or there's a lot of people that's married, wish they were divorced. No, I'm just joking, but we're gonna talk to my brother and see what's going on. So without further ado, please welcome to the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people, Mr. Dion Strowhorn Sr. My brother.
Thank you. I love that introduction.
Hey, no problem, man. That's what we do here. So, Dion, let's get it started. Now, everybody loves an original story, right?
Yes.
So everybody loves an original story, and they love the origin of a story, which brings me to you.
Yes.
Now, where did your journey begin as a writer, producer, and director?
Oh wow. Okay.
good.
So I was a member at Salem Baptist Church, and I was part of the men's ministry. And I noticed when we had moved to House of Hope, I wasn't sitting as close to the pulpit as I once was when we were at Salem.
Right.
So I was just trying to figure out what this was and why I was becoming so disconnected with hearing the voice of the minister. So I had went to, I think it was Manpower,
Okay.
Bishop Jakes, and he had said something that was so profound. And he said that God is going to establish something in your life, but it's going to be done outside of your church. In order for this to happen, you have to leave the church you're at now.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe it because all I knew was Pastor Meeks.
Right. Okay.
But I still didn't understand my distance. So I just stepped out on faith. So I overheard someone talking about this amazing youth ministry in Munster, Indiana,
Right.
and how they they minister to young people. And at the time, my son was a teenager. So I was like, well, I need to figure this out.
Right.
So I left Salem. I started to attend Family Christian Center. And maybe after about a month, I was like, okay, I'm here, but it's nothing.
Right.
So I'm like, look, you got to show me something. No sooner than I said that, the lights go out, screen opens, and it said audition. And I'm like, could this be it? I've never acted before. So this must be it. So I just stepped out on faith. I joined the ministry, and I haven't looked back since.
That's cool. So the thing I like about you is that, like, now you're doing more directing and producing, but you did act. So you started off, and I think that's important, that you actually, you got to find your niche.
Yes.
And the only way you find your niche is by exploring. And so you explored acting, which you still can do.
Yes.
And then, but you wanted to produce, you wanted to direct, you wanted to tell stories. You're a writer. So my question to you is, when you were breaking into the industry and getting going, is there any
I know where you're going with this.
Is there any interesting story? Did something interesting happen? Because we all know there are a lot of interesting things. There are things that happen that people don't talk about or they don't get a chance to talk about. Yeah. So I'm asking you just one of those things, because I know you got some interesting stories.
Okay. So I remember you had the Actors Workshop, and I really wanted to break into the business, and I happened to run across it on social media. So I attended, but I remember things that I heard prior to that, like you want to be there on time, you want to be humble, you want to help out. So with all those things in mind, I attended the workshop, and I remember getting there early.
Yep.
And I remember seeing you and your wife, Tammy. So, and you guys were setting up the chairs.
Right.
And I just asked, I was like, do you need a hand?
Yep.
And you was like, yeah. He was like, what's your name, brother? And just instantly, once we shook hands, it was like a friendship just took off.
Yeah.
From there. And you used me as an example during the workshop. I do appreciate that. You led me into meeting Mark Harris.
Right.
And some amazing producers and directors in the business, and I'm forever grateful for that.
And I just want to say, everybody watching, if you heard what he said and you paid attention, Dion has always been a student to the game, and that's why I said that's why now he's a teacher of the game, and he's one of those pillars. And it was so cool that when we first met, it was at the workshop, and you were willing to help. And that's what I tell people all the time. We have to be willing to get in at the ground level.
Yes.
And work our way up, if you will. And I'm talking about whether it's helping somebody carry a chair, whether it's asking if you need a hand, or just greeting people and just being friendly. And a lot of people miss that. And because of all the things that you've done and the seeds that you've sown, you went from acting to writing and directing and producing, and then you started your own production, right? You started your own production. Yes. So I'm going to go to the second one. Okay, because you started down by 18.
Yes.
So and that's, you're not doing that anymore. But then you have Totally Free Productions, right?
Yes.
And the Chi-Town Multicultural Films Festival. My question to you is, when were those seeds planted for you to want to not only start your own production company, but start your own festival?
I want to say, in regards to starting a production company, being part of 9x18 production with my ex-wife, Susan Reed, we actually, it was faith-based films.
Right.
And I wanted to write something a little bit more edgier. So I was just faced with a decision that had to be made at that time.
Right.
And I just stepped out on faith. A lot of the films that I've done are kind of risque.
Yeah, so
They're kind of risque. But
so here we go. your first short, the concert.
The concert, yes.
That was you wrote it.
I wrote
it. It was directed by Mark Harris,
yes.
right? And then you did Overcome, and I was able to help produce and act in that.
Yes.
So that's when you were still on kind of like that faith-based kick.
Yes.
And then you did a 360, if you will, a 180. I don't know which one it was. All I know is that you went from faith-based to number 37, which was it was a little edgy.
Yeah. So let me set it up for you. So number 37 was about a college professor who used his profession to satisfy his lustful desires.
And who played that character?
You.
I wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you had the Vulva Chronicles.
The Vulva Chronicles. How would I describe that? The Vulva Chronicles was really about my younger years,
Mm-hmm.
but at the time I didn't think that the public or society would want to see how a young man evolves from being molested. Okay. So what I decided, I said, well, instead of having the male, I just flipped it and had a female.
Right.
But as the years progressed, I wish that I would have done it the original
way
way.
you were going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I think the cool thing about anybody out there that's watching that is a filmmaker, or you inspire to be a filmmaker or writer, I think the cool thing about film and TV is the fact that sometimes you can go outside the box.
Yes.
And you can be the total opposite of who you are in your writing, in your acting, your directing, and we have to look at art for what it is, and we're not supposed to. We shouldn't judge people, and of course, everybody has what they like.
Yes.
But I think that when you're willing to take a risk and step out, I think that's when sometimes you get your best creativity and your best work.
And I think the biggest mistake that I made with the Vulva Chronicles is I actually judged myself, mm-hmm. which prompted me to, flip the gender.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. And so here we go. So we talked about how you started and what were some of your inspirations and some of the things you've done. So now let's look at this, what you're doing now. You're doing the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival.
Yes.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what we can expect from this year's festival?
Okay, well, when the festival was started back in 2014, I noticed that there was a lot of racial tension going on just in our society. And I wanted to know what could I do to make a difference. And since I love film, that whole media film, I wanted to use that platform to bridge the racial gap.
Okay.
So started the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival.
Okay, cool. So what can we expect for this year? Like, what's going on? Are there going to be awards going on? What type of films do you have? You have people from out of state. I mean, what can we expect from this year's film festival? Because I've been a part of the festival.
Yes.
And it's so cool because you give awards out to people and you honor people and recognize people. What can we expect this year?
So this year we have an array of films. We have a total of 13 films.
Wow, good.
We'll actually be at Showplace Icon November 2nd.
Okay.
From 10 to 12, and there's a paranormal film titled Ghost Box, and then we flip the script, and then there's a faith-based film called Intercessor. Mm-hmm. And then later that evening we'll be at the Logan Center. Mm-hmm. And at the Logan Center, we'll have 11 short films. Okay.
So you have a couple features this year?
We have 2 features, which will be the midday screening.
At the Icon?
At Showplace Icon.
Okay.
And then later that evening, again, November 2nd, we'll be there from 6 to 10. We have 2 awards that will be handed out. One will be given to Michelle Hayes, of Hayes Talent Agency. Okay. And then the other will be given out to Kwame
I know Kwame
from Chicago Film.
I know Kwame.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. Everybody watching, are you listening to this? now you have 13 films in your festival, two features,
Yes.
11 shorts, and you're going to be screening at the Icon. I remember when you were at the college
Yes.
in one of their rooms projecting.
Matter of fact, we have come a long way. Matter of fact, the very first festival we had was at the Chicago Public Library, the B branch on 36th and State.
Yep.
And we've grown from there. We went to the
You went to Blue 37?
Blue 37, and then from there, then we went over to Logan Center.
Uh-huh.
So we're hoping, and listen out there, we're hoping to have a home. We're hoping. And I'm hoping someone from Logan Center is watching this. We need a home. We're tired of traveling around.
So let me ask you this. So you've been doing it. This is we're going on this is the 5th year.
6 years.
Six.
Six,
Going into
yes.
six. This is the 6th year. What's one of your favorite and memorable moments about the festival so far?
I want to say the very first one, because I mean it was near and dear to my heart. It was open and free to the public.
Right.
And when you just envision, when you write something down, you see it on paper. But when it comes to fruition,
Yeah.
I mean, it chokes you up. But not only that, I remember the very first time you hosted one of the festivals. So we had grown from, I want to say maybe 20 to over 100 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And I remember we were in the back. We were in the back and we were talking. And I peeked behind the curtain and I'm like, oh, look at this, Simeon.
Yep.
And you were saying, you said it's just going to get bigger.
Yep.
Bigger and better.
Yep. And that's what happens. And I'm always telling people to stay consistent and committed,
Yes.
and faithful and focused.
Yes.
And when you look at the big picture and you're not looking at right now, you're not looking at, well, we don't have this many people and we don't have this many films, but the vision stays the same.
Yes.
And you stay focused on that vision and you can see down the line. And that's when everything starts to blossom and take place.
Yes.
And that's why you go from 20 people to over 100 people to now this year you'll probably have close to 500 people or more. But the thing is, you've been there, you've been in it, and you've stayed in it. And that's what I like. And I hope you guys are getting this. And Dion, so it's so cool, man, to have you here. And my question to you is, what do you have coming up in the distant future? Like, what's next?
Well, I did mention being part of 9x18 production, and I had mentioned that my ex-wife and I were part of that. So the most recent project that I had worked on and that I'm still working on now is a documentary titled Divorced, Now What? And it's a series of interviews of men and how they've overcome the divorce process. And I don't share this a lot, but it's going on 7 years for me being divorced. But it took me 3 years just to come to the realization that I was divorced.
Right.
I mean, people would ask me, how's your wife? And I was, oh, she's great. But I had no clue.
Right.
And I want to say like 3 years in, and I was like, you know what? Damn, I need some help. And I remember someone asking me, how was she? And I was like, you know what? I'm divorced. I don't know how she is. So what I did, I used the gifts and talents of filmmaking to help me, bridge that gap.
Right.
From lacking professional help,
Right.
to just getting my mind back together. Okay.
So coming to that reality and that.
Oh, I had to come to grips.
Yeah. And so and listening to you, there's a lot of people out here watching that in relationships or been through it. They've probably been divorced, remarried, or in a relationship. And what is the goal? What is the goal for Divorce Now What? What is your goal? Like, why did you do it? What do you hope to accomplish?
With this piece, for men to let people know that we're human, that that you're not alone. Because I mean, there was times that I would sit there and think like I'm a loser. Trying to deal with it on my own. It just kind of tore me up.
Wow.
So as I reached out to other men, that's when I realized, look, I'm not alone. I can get through this because I interviewed different men at different stages. And so I'm like, okay, well, he is beyond the stage I'm at now. Right. So if he's fine, I know at some point I'm going to be okay.
Let me tell you what's so interesting about you saying that. So many times, the world and society and the way things are, they don't think that men feel this way. They think it's only women that are so torn up and distraught and broke down by divorce. When in reality, it's women and men. Oh, so there are men that go through. I can say this. I know of guys that have taken their own life because of the relationship ended.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do anymore, how to function anymore. And what I'm saying is people have to actually get help in order. You can't think that, oh, I'm so macho and I'm a man and I don't have to worry about it. When at the end of the day, you're still a human being. You have feelings and you are married to that person for a reason because you love them. And now once that dissipates and it's over, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good thing because I think it's something that needs to get out there.
There's nothing wrong with seeking professional help.
Yeah. And that's as a black man, and I can say this, we have all types of people that watch the show, but as a black man or men in general, we feel that we don't need counseling or can't nobody tell me what I need to do about my relationship and my life, and that's such a farce. Everybody can use help in some way, shape, form, or fashion to help us get to the next level or get through the things we're going through.
Yeah, I mean, what you just said, it that's how I sounded at the beginning. And it was even suggested by my ex-wife, like, it's okay. You need some help. And I'm like, I don't need no help. I can handle this. I do a few push-ups and watch little Joe Osteen, and I'm be okay.
And all you do is get a little stronger, but still be hurt. Your arms get a little stronger, but you still hurt.
Yeah.
You get a little faith, and you get some good words, and after that motivation, you still hurt. Until you deal with the issue, you deal with the problem, or you deal with the situation, and you can heal from it because you deal with it.
Yeah. You got to get the help. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a much better place.
Right.
Much better place than when it first happened.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody, we're sitting down with Dion Strowhorn Sr. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I mean, because you're getting a lot. You're getting who he is, where he come from, what he does, and also he opened up and gave you some of his personal story. And that's what this is about, Dion. It's about giving a voice to the people because your words are going to help somebody. And ultimately help you as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to understand. And that's the purpose of this show is for us to just step out of our comfort zone and open up and talk to people. And so many people are so, we get to a point as people where we hide or we put up this facade. And we don't want people to see who we really are.
Yeah.
Because we're so scared of what they're going to think. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You're out there now. You're doing your thing. You know what you want. What are your thoughts? Do you think you would ever get married again?
I've dated, and so this is a conversation that I would have with the person that I'm dating. Do you want to get married? And then that helps me make a decision. Okay. I can't make that decision for that woman. Mm-hmm. I don't want to string anyone along. If their intent is marriage,
mm-hmm. You cool.
I can't.
So you're not there.
I'm not there yet.
So you're not there. Gotcha.
But I've missed out, and I may miss out on some good stuff because my mind is not on saying I do.
Yeah.
Now, it's not right now.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like your
But
mind.
that's what you're saying. But I mean, it's some fine women out there. They got it together. And, you know, and when I'm talking to them, they'll say, hey, I want to get married. Now, if you say eventually or at some point, then we can work with that.
Right.
But if you say like in my immediate future,
right, they start sounding like Charlie Brown.
Yeah, like wah 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 wah.
Well, but see, and this is what you have to understand too, Dion. And I'm just saying this. So you're an older guy now, right?
Well, hold on. Let me say this because I know a lot of people are watching this. Never say never. Now I don't know.
Right.
You know, I don't want to burn my bridges.
No, but you said where you're at right now.
Yeah, but
you might
if that woman, because I know that woman that I'm seeing is watching. So listen, I'm not saying that it will never happen, but just not right now.
He's just not ready, young lady. He's not ready, but he will be eventually, right?
Eventually.
So, man, I appreciate you taking your time and sitting down with us. And, or should I say sitting down with me? When I say us, yeah. I mean with me and the people watching, because you're telling them your story and you're giving them a little piece of you. Actually, you're giving them a big piece of you. And we appreciate you for that. And you're doing big things. We have the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival coming up the weekend of November 2nd. And it's going to be at Logan Square, but it's going to also be at the Showplace Icon down on Roosevelt. You guys know that theater. It's one of the best theaters in the city. And it's exciting to see you grow and to see you evolve into what you've purposed to be and walk in your dream and your dreams. And I appreciate that and appreciate you sitting down sharing with us.
I appreciate that. But I want to say this. So if you're interested in tickets, go to Eventbrite, Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival. Closing night, $20. We're going to have a red carpet reception out of this world. $10 at Showplace Icon. And
we will put it up. It will be up on the Simeon Henderson Show page, and I will be promoting it. I might do a couple more hits for it because I will be in the building. You got a red carpet event?
Yes. Closing night.
Maybe I'll come down and host the red carpet event.
That would be awesome. You heard it right here.
So we're gonna have fun. So guys, make sure you support the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival. Dion Strowhorn Sr. Let them know where they can find you on social media, and one more time where they can get the tickets.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook, Dion Strowhorn Sr. To get your tickets, please go to Eventbrite, the Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival, or you can go on Facebook, Chi-Town Multicultural Film Festival, and get your tickets. Tickets are running out fast. Hope to see you there.
There you go, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in to the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. I have to give a big shout out to my executive producer, Jamani Anamdi, and my producer, Jose Perez, Tammy Henderson, my other producer, and Ashley Easley, my marketing director. This is all possible because of your hard work, and I thank you. Everybody that supports the show, make sure you watch, you share, you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, and inbox us and email us for your chance to get a personal, motivational, inspirational moment from me directly to you because of your support. And remember, be symbolic, because being deeply rooted stimulates growth, and simply your best. And Philippians 4:13, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I appreciate you guys. I thank you. We'll see you next time on the Simeon Henderson Show. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.